There's so much talk in the world about love, and of course, this is something that every human heart desires. Everyone is hungering for it, so there is much talk about it, and many people just lift it up and love and love and love and all that. But there's not a great reality to it, because actually in our hearts we were enemies of love, and living in depressed, hateful, living in our wounds. We were enemies of love, and we wouldn't think of ourselves this way. But this is where I want to close this conversation about who we are in Christ and the enemies of that. Because I think it's so powerfully true that we were enemies of the love of God, because so we wouldn't think of ourselves as enemies, but that's who we were, because we were rejecting the love of God. And let me read Colossians 1:21, maybe it will clarify. And you that were sometime alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now has he reconciled. So we were enemies in our minds, in our hearts. This is who we were. We were enemies of love, actually. God was initiating to us in love. But because of depression, because of living in wounds, because of the hatred in our heart, because of the shame, because of the fear, because of the guilt, we were enemies of love. We rejected the overtures of love. Like we would say, no, this is, we would just beat away its hands and its symbolic hands, and we would reject love. And we don't think of these things as enemies of love, but yeah, that's who we were, and that's what they are. And when you think of negativity in our hearts, let's say, we think of it as a weakness. Yes, sure, it is a weakness, but it can also make me an enemy of love. Comparison and insecurity, it can make me an enemy of love. And how horrid would that be? And this is why so key the church is in our lives, because the church doesn't give us an ID. The church encourages us in the identity that we have received in Christ. The church lets you know who you are in Christ. What did we say here maybe a week ago? That these enemies, they tell us, they try to convince us that we need like a special permission to enter into the presence of God, to come to Him, and a different special permission for every one of these negative and bad things in our lives. And God is saying to all of them, no, these are enemies, these are lies. You are not only welcome, you are placed in my Son. This is already yours. And this is what the church tells us. This is why the church is the greatest friend in our lives, the greatest friend of love in our lives, because the church encourages us in who we are in Christ. And with that, we can then say, yeah, like this is where I live, and I can just receive God's love, and I can just enjoy it. And there is no equivocation. There is no, duplicity about it. There is no I'm so happy about it. Really, when is He going to strike me down? No, but I am truly just saying, yeah, Lord, please give it to me. And I need to know your love. I need to know it more. And what a marvelous place that is when we find that place. And this is why I think the past few weeks of talking about this topic was so key and so useful. I trust for you as well. For me, definitely, but I hope for you as well.